Here's the thing nobody wants to hear. AI probably won't take your job, but your job might change in ways that catch you off guard. And that's actually more interesting to talk about than another doomsday video. Look, I get why everyone's panicking. ChatGPT can write code. AI can design graphics. There are robots learning to fold laundry now. The fear is real, and it's human. But the actual story of AI and employment is way more nuanced, and honestly, it's more useful to understand. Let me break this down into 3 parts. First, the jobs that are actually at risk. Second, why it's probably not yours, even if you think it is. And third, what you should actually be paying attention to instead. So let's start with the jobs that AI is genuinely disrupting right now. Data entry clerks, customer service reps, certain types of content moderators, some basic graphic design work, routine coding tasks, transcription work, and a bunch of administrative roles. These aren't niche jobs either. Millions of people do these things globally, and AI is getting better at them every month. But here's what's interesting. These jobs have been getting automated for decades. Not by AI, but by regular software. I mean, we've had automated customer service systems since the 90s. We've had data entry software that can process thousands of records an hour. The only difference now is that AI is doing it smarter and more flexibly. So what's actually changing? It's the speed and the scale. Instead of a company needing to hire custom software developers to automate one specific task, they can now use an AI tool that learns and adapts. That's a big deal for employers because it's cheaper and faster. But it's also a big deal for workers because it means the transition is real, and it's happening now. But here's the part that doesn't make the headlines. Most jobs won't disappear. They'll change. And that's actually the more important conversation. Let's say you're a lawyer. You're probably not worried about AI taking your job because lawyering is complex, client-facing, and requires judgment and strategy. But AI is already changing how lawyers work. It can summarize case law, spot patterns in legal documents, help with research. Some law firms are using AI to handle the grunt work that used to take junior associates weeks. Does that mean lawyers are out of work? No. It means the work they do changes. You spend less time on research and more time on strategy and client relationships. Same thing with radiologists. AI can read X-rays as well as humans now. Better, actually, in some cases. But radiologists aren't disappearing. Hospitals still need someone to interpret the AI's findings, to catch edge cases, to talk to patients about what the images mean. The job shifts from pure image analysis to more of a collaborative role with AI as a tool. I think the real question isn't whether AI will take your job. It's whether you'll adapt faster than your industry does. And that's actually something you can control. Now, there are some jobs that are genuinely at higher risk than others. Anything that's highly repetitive, doesn't require human judgment, and can be done digitally is vulnerable. Customer service at scale, basic bookkeeping, certain manufacturing tasks, telemarketing. If your job is basically following a flowchart, an AI can probably learn to do that. But even then, it's not like one day you show up and there's a robot at your desk. It's usually a slow transition. A company starts using AI to handle some of the workload. They need fewer people doing that specific task, but they might need more people managing the AI, or doing the parts of the job that the AI can't handle, or dealing with the customers who are frustrated with the AI. Here's what I think a lot of people get wrong about this whole thing. They think about AI as a replacement. Like AI is a person who's going to do your job instead of you. But that's not really how it works. AI is more like a tool. A really smart tool, but still a tool. And tools don't replace jobs on their own. They change what people do, and sometimes they create new jobs in the process. Think about ATMs. Everyone thought ATMs would eliminate bank tellers. They didn't. Instead, there are still bank tellers, but they do different work. They handle complex transactions. They build relationships with customers. They solve problems. The technology freed them from the repetitive cash counting stuff and let them do the more human parts of the job. I'm not saying that's always what happens. Sometimes technologies do eliminate jobs entirely. But the pattern we've seen historically is that technology changes jobs more often than it eliminates them completely. So what should you actually be worried about? Not about AI taking your job. Worry about being the person in your industry who doesn't know how to use AI. Worry about being the graphic designer who doesn't understand AI image generation. Worry about being the programmer who hasn't touched a language model. Because that's the actual risk. Not replacement. Obsolescence. The jobs that are safest right now are the ones that are hardest to automate. Anything that requires serious human judgment, anything that's creative in a way that requires taste and context, anything that involves managing people or complex relationships. Surgery, therapy, management, teaching, creative direction, strategy, skilled traits. These are still very human jobs. AI can be a tool in all of them, but it's hard to imagine AI completely replacing them. But even that list is probably going to change. AI is getting smarter. What seems impossible to automate now might be totally automatable in 5 years. So the real skill you need to develop isn't about being safe in your specific job. It's about being adaptable. Here's what I'd actually recommend doing. First, get curious about AI in your field. Not because you're panicking, but because it's going to be part of your work sooner or later. Learn what AI tools exist in your industry. Understand what they're good at and what they're bad at. Become the person who knows how to use them. Second, focus on the parts of your job that are hardest to automate. What do you do that requires judgment, creativity, relationship building, or complex problem solving? Double down on that. Get better at the human parts of your job. Third, stay flexible. If your entire job is something that's vulnerable to automation, start thinking about what else you could do with your skills. Not because you need to panic, but because adaptability is the actual hedge against job disruption. And fourth, don't believe anyone who tells you they know exactly what's going to happen. Anyone who says AI will definitely eliminate all jobs is wrong. Anyone who says AI will definitely not change your job is probably also wrong. The truth is messier and more uncertain than either of those takes. What we can say is this: AI is already changing how work works. Some jobs are at higher risk than others. But most jobs won't disappear. They'll change. And the people who thrive are going to be the ones who understand AI, can work alongside it, and can focus on the parts of their work that machines still can't do. So no, AI probably won't take your job, but it might change it. And that's actually something worth paying attention to. Not out of fear, but out of curiosity about what's coming next. If you're thinking about this stuff and want to understand more about how AI is actually reshaping work, subscribe. We break down these things in ways that actually help you figure out what's real and what's hype. New videos every week. Thanks for watching.